Yay, it's a new year and I'm a new man! Not really, I mean I couldn't even bother to get a new haircut, let alone renew the rest of myself, but I do want to change a few things about the content on this channel. But first of all, I want to talk about new cameras. I want to get a new camera for filming, maybe two. I mean people always say content is king. Yeah, that's true, but cameras, that's the queen! And we all know the queen is the most important piece in chess. And this is like a game of chess. Obviously. I mean, the GH5 has served me well over the years, even though I say the autofocusing system is, how to put it nicely, pretty atrocious. I want to get two new cameras. One that I can just plonk at home with a microphone and a seat set up in an area and I can just sit down, hit record whenever I like. And number two, a camera for shooting stuff outdoors. But first of all, the indoor camera. Let's go. There's not really a camera in there, I wouldn't be that reckless, right? Well, anyway, that's the Zcam E2C, which is essentially the cheaper version of that, the E2 from Zcam. I guess that's what the C in the E2C stands for, cheap. Probably. Anyway, I really like the E2, which I reviewed last year. Yes, and that's me caressing it telekinetically. It gives you plenty of cinematic bang for your buck. It's a bangathon, it's bang bang good. It's big bang, small price. Could make a good website name, but I like it a lot. It's fully featured and you can pimp up. Look, that's what I've done. This is a very nice grip. This wood grip is by a brand called RVLVI, I think that's right. Basically, it's revolver without the valves. I spoke to a guy who designed this and basically made it because he wanted something like this. There was nothing else on the market, so he came up with it himself. It's a wood grip with two dials and a red button. The E2 is a great base to pimp up a cine setup for not a lot of dough, so I can afford a haircut or a little feathered fedora to cover the hair and look like an actual pimp. But yeah, anyway, what exactly is a Cine Camera? Because you've got stills cameras that takes pretty decent video and video cameras that take pretty decent video as well. Cine cameras, you kind of expect it to be those big ass Alexa looking things that you see being used to shoot blockbuster movies. The Zcam might not look like one on its own, but you can certainly add stuff onto it or adjacent to it. Camcorders take video just like Cine cameras, but what sets a Cine camera apart from a camcorder? Mainly two things. Number one, it takes sexy looking images, and number two, wires and shit like that hanging off it. Essentially at the heart of the E2, it's just a GH5. It's got a similar, if not the same 2x crop micro four thirds sensor, micro four thirds mount, but what sets this apart is that it's just a bit more in the image quality department. It just has that sexiness. E2C, cheaper price, so it can't be exactly the same as that, even though they're both micro four thirds mount. So what have they compromised on? What have they cheaped out on? Well, inside, if you're looking at the heart, this is more like a GH4, a 2.3x crop. And when you're talking about crop, more crop is usually worse, right? Yes, less is not more. A 35mm equiv becomes a 40mm equiv in full frame terms. But you can use the Metabones XL adapter and that'll give you close to a super 35x crop. But this also cheapens out on the frame rates because whereas this, the E2 shoots higher frame rates than 4K, this doesn't. This is 4K 30p max. But for me, I'm not too bothered by this because I'm thinking about setting this up right over there. Just as we're changing cameras, this video is sponsored by Squarespace. If you want to set up your own domain, online retail space or website, it's super simple to get started and make your next move with Squarespace. With an easy to use interface filled with loads of templates and backed up with 24/7 customer service. You can try it out with a 14-day free trial and get 10% off your first order with this link and discount code. Yay, so this is the E2C right now. I'm controlling it using the iPhone app wirelessly. Well, you can't see the wires here, but you can connect it using a lightning cable, which makes it less laggy. The useful thing with the app is that you can basically do everything that you need. Focus on face, focus on camera, focus on face, focus on camera. It's a little bit slow. I mean, it's not exactly a speed demon of a focuser. The AF is mainly useful for setting focus first before you hit record, not during. With the added crop, it doesn't matter too much if you're using a zoom lens because you just zoom out a little bit more, but with primes, a little bit fiddly. And also if you have to use a wider lens, it means you get more depth of field, which some people don't like, but it's good for stuff like this if I want to have the product and my face in focus at the same time. That's the same settings before, and you can see the peaking there, it's glowing on my face and the products, and actually the GH5 shots, I don't think my face was in focus, but there you go. Nope, and the focusing dot was right on my face. In fact, using the app is a must in my opinion. It makes it much easier to operate than just using the buttons on the camera, so it's good that they have pretty much everything you need on the app. You got peaking, and then you got your waveforms and vector scopes, and you've got predator mode, and then zebra, and a bit of mono action, black and white, not the thing you get from kissing somebody with germs. But yeah, E2C still has annoying flaps that reveal the same things, well, apart from the use of cards. Another difference between the E2 and the E2C is that the E2 takes CFast cards, so you have to invest in some rather expensive CFast cards. Zcam, you can just use SD cards, or you can use an SSD which you can just plug into the arse of the camera. Which is just as well, because there's bound to be someone that will complain about only having one card slot. Now, as I mentioned before in the review, this Direct 709 picture profile looks great, good enough to publish straight out of camera, which is good because the Zcam E2C can go live using the app. This is essentially why I think the E2C is a useful camera to have set up at home, more than a camera to use out and about. It's a great solid little camera for broadcasting live, and Locke has an E2C as well, and we'll be filming more boat bros on this channel. No penetration, no holding of each other's genitals. So it makes sense for us to be using exactly the same cameras to match colours. Now, if still in 4K you get wide image, it's not just top bit and bottom bit cropped off. You can see part of the cupboard door over there. See, look, it's all gone. Over there, you can't see it. Unlike the image from the E2C, 10-bit 4K 422 when you shoot ProRes, at first all this footage looks a little soft, mainly because it was shot at ISO 3200 using the low noise option. With it switched off, you get more definition, and ISO 6400 still looks kinda clean, so I'll just keep it off. Nice skin colours, but look, you've got other picture profiles as well. I was shooting in 709, but you've got hybrid log gamma, Z log and flat, which are easy to work with because you've got a ton of LUTs provided to slap onto it. Permanently, that's the basics, which means this is freed up to take out to shoot some nice, sexy, slow motion B-rolls. The E2C uses Canon LPE6s, which won't last as long as high-cap Sony NPFs, which is another reason for me to prefer using the E2 for going out to shoot with. But if there's any reservations about the crop, about not having higher frame rates, about that piddly Canon battery, just get this. I mean, if you can stretch your budget to this, get the E2. But if you have to stick to $800, the E2C is pretty damn fantastic. For $800, you can't really complain. The obvious alternatives would be, for a bit more, the GH5. Got great IBIS and a flip screen and 4K 60, or the BMP-CC 4K. 4K 60, big ass fixed screen included. Why E2C? Ergonomics, robustness, and that app. It's probably one of the best I've seen for video shooting. A good camera isn't necessarily the one with the biggest sensor, the one with the biggest price. Just like content, a camera doesn't have to be too elaborate. It doesn't have to be too fancy. It just has to be the right fit. The camera is a tool, as they say, and you have to pick the right tool for the job, but there's no harm in sometimes updating your tools. And with regards to content, in 2019, it kind of got to a point where I was not too happy with my output. In 2019, as you may or may not know, we had a baby. I don't mean me and you. I'm not going to start asking you for child support. I mean me and the missus. And I found it quite hard to remove myself from doing the dad type things. And look, I'm not complaining. I've been enjoying every single moment, and it's a great time in their lives to be spending as much time as possible with them. And I'm lucky that I can, but there has to be a good balance between family time and productivity, and of course spending time with extended family. But yeah, anyway, I want to get back on track. I want to do some new things, but also use some old methods of producing content, which is just to enjoy the whole process and make content that I enjoy watching myself. I mean, back when I first started doing this YouTube thing about a decade ago, it was all about making videos that me and my friends could have a giggle over. I mean, if you can't enjoy your own content, how can you convince somebody else to enjoy your content? It's not going to happen overnight, and I'm not going to make any promises to increase output, but this is my main goal anyway, just to make stuff more fun again. The recent long trip to Asia was a nice getaway to see friends and family, to enjoy life, to think about things, to bring back some positivity when some negative thoughts started creeping in. But most of all, I want to say thank you again for your support, as always, to you, my lovely bokeh-loving whores. Thanks for watching. See you again. Bye-bye.